what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. So let's just straight into it.
It's like it's Minute Maid, hijack 4, renegade, 24, number 8, Kobe shit fade away, ballin' since 11th grade, still in school, let them hate.
So one of the most common tendencies that just us people, humans, have in general is taking certain advice from certain people who actually have experience and have dealt with a certain situation before. Specific situation or thing that's correlated with your situation. It only makes sense. What am I doing asking girl advice from someone who gets no play? If I want to learn how to do better at any aspect like that, then I'm going to ask someone who's actually in the field out here knocking stuff down. So with that knowledge and situation being put out there, you'd expect some of the best and most elite players in the league out there to be able to spot out and call out who will be next up in the NBA for years to come. You know, it only makes sense since they actually do this. But it's not like that all the time. If it was like that all the time, then one of the greatest coaches of all time, Greg Popovich, who didn't play a lick of NBA basketball, by the way, wouldn't be taken seriously. Of course, experience is important, but in my personal opinion, it's not that much important than actual knowledge. Let me put you on game though real quick. Don't get it twisted. You can gain knowledge through experiences. I just got hella philosophical. My bad. Once I get into my bag, you know, I just get lost. But the point that I'm trying to lead you into is that guys like MJ, Michael Jordan, is to many the greatest basketball player of all time. And with that being said, you'd expect him to be elite at knowing who's whack and who's not on the court. But bro, as the face of the Charlotte Hornets, it seems like he doesn't have a clue in what's going on. Like, bro, like, hold on, like, this is kind of off topic, but didn't there, like, number 11 or whatever overall pick, Malik Monk, he just got caught doing crack. Like, it don't get no worse than that. I'm not saying that, you know, Malik Monk doing crack is MJ's fault, but you know what I'm saying? It happened and you picked him. MJ has rarely done anything right in Charlotte. Dude is like 1 of 30 from the field over there in Charlotte. All he does is miss, which is pretty wild if you ask me. And someone who's helped expand this combo even more is someone whose name has been constantly tied and linked to MJ ever since he was an 18-year-old boy, LeBron James. Now, obviously, LeBron James is a very active NBA player, and he hasn't had the opportunity yet to fully evaluate talent and be the one responsible for taking the talent out of the draft. So we'll save that argument for another time, maybe 10 years from now. Okay, I'm just kidding. You know, I love YouTube and all that, but I pray to God that I'm not on YouTube over here saying that corny intro 10 years from now. Bro, I'm gonna be 30. That's not for me. So to help prevent that from happening, go ahead and whoop up that like button. Why? Well, the real question is, why wouldn't you? My point exactly. You're staring at me looking dumb, so go ahead and whip that up so I can go ahead and cut to the black screen. LeBron James is easily one of the most smartest and influential players in history. Mans is a walking phenom and has done things that don't seem replicable. LeBron is one of a kind, and we likely won't see such a beast like that step foot on the court ever again. So while he's here and interacting with different people on and off of the court, to put it in nicer and simpler terms, people just abide by whatever he says whenever he wants. Because since he's been the best for so long, his word just holds way more weight than any other figure in the league currently. It's like that currently and was like that back in his Miami days, specifically to the year 2014. That was LeBron's last year in Miami. All signs are pointing towards this man leaving. Reps and management of Miami were on the edge of their seats, and D-Wade's knees weren't holding up too well. So Miami at the time was hella vulnerable, and in the middle of their vulnerability, the March Madness tournament just started to turn up. And the one player that stole the nation's hearts on that big stage was the one and only
Shabazz and company. Shabazz looks like that guy. Doesn't he look like that guy? Yeah. The guy who's not even 6 feet tall?
This right here was the peak of his career, which is like, damn, that's really sad to say. But during his time at UConn, man was receiving worldwide attention and was one of the main reasons why his team won that championship. His clutch performances really put himself on the map. But weirdly enough though, even after all the national attention, he still wasn't seen as a top 5, 10, or even top 14 lottery pick. Now to add more context as to why that may be so, it's super important to point out that this man was a 4-year college student, which is really insane to think about in today's NBA. Now those 4 years in college for him definitely did define his game, and his time spent there wasn't necessarily a waste. But if we're being real, considering what was brainwashed back then, I think that we can all agree, or at least most of us can agree that it probably was. But at UConn, Shabazz was the man and had a bandwagon of fans following his hype train. And one of the thousands of people that were participating in it was, of course, LeBron James. Now, LeBron on different social media platforms has consistently made it known that he is a basketball junkie. He's a fiend, he's an addict, he gets the itches if it's not around him. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. I'm just like you, bro, I have the same issues. But check me out, I'm sure that many can agree that LeBron's fandom of the sport probably exceeds the rest of ours. I say probably because he's in the field, he has experience, and he's in the gym putting hours and hours and hours in that we and you are not doing. So to go ahead and tie everything back in from the start of the video up until this point, because of his experience and knowledge, his opinion trumps what everybody else has to say. Because he is or was, it really don't matter what some of you guys think about him right now. The point still stands. He is and will forever be the top dog, the alpha out of everyone. You and I aren't, and it will never ever be like that. But hey, don't be sad. Don't worry, bro. I still care about you. It's just that whenever that man says something about a young player coming out of the draft, everyone literally drops their bag and starts running towards the young player to see what the hype's about. Because these elites don't speak up often about college players going into the draft, especially LeBron James. So once he tweeted out, "No way you take another PG in the draft before Napier," yeah, it was a GG. That is a real tweet. I'm not lying. Now, mind you, this was going to be a 23-year-old rookie, which is old as hell, by the way, in NBA years. That's just 2 years away from entering your prime. Shabazz was someone who was, again, an undersized PG. But none of those things stopped guys like LeBron to go ahead and say what he said. He thought that Napier was going to be the best PG in the draft. Now, to add a little bit more context to this entire thing, that 2014 NBA draft class was actually really made it low-key raped. Therefore, none of those PGs were really great. Can you believe who was the best point guard from that class 6 years later? He wasn't even selected in the first round. He was actually selected in the second round, and that person is Spencer Dinwiddie. But at the time, guys like Dante Exum was seen as an interesting prospect, and Marcus Smart, who put up 18-5 and 5 and had beastly potential. Then there's guys like the Alfred Paytons of the world, who many thought could potentially be the next Rajon Rondo. Out of all those great young prospects at the time, LeBron put all his money into the 23-year-old rookie out of nowhere. This tweet right here was so out of the blue and out of nowhere. Once that tweet was made, Miami ended up moving up 2 spots earlier in that same day, just to make sure that they were gonna secure Shabazz Napier to satisfy then at the time looming free agent LeBron. Miami swears to this day that LeBron did not peer pressure him or influence him to make this move. Cap, stop lying. What you gotta lie for? We already know how these things go. LeBron basically put that pressure on him to make that move. And that was low-key manipulation if you think about it. Because he left Miami just a few weeks after that just to go ahead and join Cleveland. If you know me, or at least have a good idea of where I stand on a lot of things, then you'd know that I don't. Psych, I stand for it. I'm all here for it. I love it when I see a player abuse his power. Why? Well, because these nerds in the organization have been doing it this entire time. So it's time for them to get their revenge and take the power back. If you're Miami at the time, all you could do was shake your head and wipe them tears off of your face. Because the very next PG taken after Shabazz Napier was Spencer Dinwiddie, who is currently a fringe all-star type talent out there in the Eastern Conference. Now, Spencer did have to go through multiple teams and organizations to really define his game, but Miami is literally known to be one of the better developmental teams out there in the league. Instead, they had to face reality and had to deal with losing LeBron. And trade away the dude that he suggested just a year later. Shabazz being a part of 6 teams in just a 5-year span in the NBA just doesn't sit right with him. It wasn't up until now, at this very moment, at the end of the season, when Shabazz was seen as a sought-after piece for a potential team. Coming out of college, the man gave me Damian Lillard vibes. Why? I don't know. Actually, I'm lying. Let me be truthful and spill the beans. I know why. It's probably because of his stature, similar skin complexion, the tattoo placement, and also same low cut. And honestly, it seems like him playing 2 years behind Dame and CJ, one of the best guard duos that the league has to offer. He seriously picked up a lot of game from them, which enhanced his skills. He had his first season shooting over 40% from the field over there, which didn't happen up until his 4th year in the league. And at this point of his career, he's been the best he's ever been, averaging 12 points and 4 assists. Pretty solid. So even though he will always and forever be mentioned and remembered as the dude that LeBron tweeted about last minute in the NBA draft, he's actually formed himself into a decent NBA player that I would even like on my team. So going back to the main point and idea of this video, just because you're an NBA player, or you have more experience than one actually playing basketball, doesn't mean that your word will always be more correct than the other. It might hold more weight just because of who you are. The only superstar player from the past that I can think about who co-signed a college player coming out of college was Kevin Durant. Back in the 2015 NBA draft, Durant urged OKC to take Booker, but they were just one pick shy away from making that move happen, and they had to settle for Cameron Payne. Yes, Payne. I can already see OKC fans crying right now as I speak. Here, take a tissue. This is the end of the video though, man. I really do appreciate you for coming over here on my channel and seeing what I have to talk about once again. That is, as always, hella dope of you to do. Now, right before you leave, I want you to go ahead and make sure that you like this video and also share this video in your group chat. If you go ahead and share this in your group chat, whatever group chat that you have with your family, hey, I bet you won't do it with your family. Go ahead and show your dad this video. Go ahead and show your cousins this video. Everyone, show them all. Spread the word. And also, besides everything that I'm about to say, I just hope that you go ahead and make your day great. But until next time, I'll get right with you.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made the surf, free the way, Told my girl who'd ever thought.